The doctor looked at me and whispered, "Do not go home today." Then he said something that shattered my heart forever. "Your own family is lying to you." I was 72 years old, and I had no idea my children were planning my disappearance. My name is Evelyn Harper, and I am 72 years old. For most of my life, I believed family was a place where you were safe, a place where you could close your eyes and trust that nothing bad would happen. I believed that love, once given honestly, could never turn cruel. I was wrong. For 40 years, I worked quietly as a school librarian. I never chased money or attention. I chased peace. I chased routine. I chased the simple joy of helping children discover books. My husband, Robert, understood me. We were not rich, but we were happy. On Sunday mornings, we drank coffee in silence. At night, he held my hand as if it were the most important thing in the world. Then one day, he was gone. After Robert died, the house did not just become quiet, it became heavy. Every room reminded me of a life that no longer existed. That was when my son Michael stepped in. "Mom," he said gently, "you shouldn't be alone. Come live with us." I believed him, because he was my son, because I raised him, because a mother never expects betrayal from the child she once protected with her own body. At first, everything felt right. Karen smiled. Sophie hugged me. I felt needed again. And that is how betrayal begins. Not with cruelty, but with comfort. My name is Evelyn Harper, and I am 72 years old. For most of my life, I believed family was the safest place in the world. I believed that blood meant loyalty, that love given would always return as love. I was wrong. For 40 years, I worked as a school librarian. It was not a job that made me rich, but it was honest work. I loved books, children, and quiet mornings. My husband, Robert, worked as an electrical engineer. Together, we built a simple but comfortable life. We had one son, Michael. Michael was our world. We paid for his education, supported his dreams, and helped him every time he failed. When Robert died 12 years ago from a sudden heart attack, my life changed forever. The house became too quiet. The nights became too long. Michael told me, "Mom, you should not live alone. Come stay with us." So I did. Michael lived with his wife Karen and their daughter Sophie. At first, everything felt warm and loving. Karen hugged me every morning. Sophie called me Grandma Eve and asked me to read her bedtime stories. I cooked, I cleaned, I helped Sophie with homework. I believed I was still useful. But slowly, things began to change. Karen stopped smiling at me. Michael became distant. Conversations stopped when I entered the room. Sometimes I heard my name whispered behind closed doors. I told myself I was imagining things. After all, I was old. One Tuesday morning, Michael drove me to my regular medical checkup. I had been seeing Dr. Andrew Collins for over 10 years. He was calm, serious, and always respectful. "Everything is routine," Michael said on the way. "Just make sure you take your pills like the doctor said." I nodded. Inside the clinic, Dr. Collins examined me carefully. He checked my heart, my reflexes, my memory. He asked me questions about dates, names, and current events. I answered everything correctly. "You're doing very well, Evelyn. Your mind is sharp. Your body is strong for your age." I smiled with relief. As I stood up to leave, Dr. Collins suddenly lowered his voice. "Mrs. Harper," he said quietly, "please don't react. Just listen." My heart started beating faster. "Your son and daughter-in-law came to see me yesterday. They asked if I could declare you mentally unfit. The room started spinning. They asked about dementia, he said. They asked how fast we could move you to assisted care. I could not breathe. They wanted access to your finances, he added softly. I refused. He slipped a small card into my hand. Do not go home today. Your family is lying to you. I walked out of the clinic in silence. Michael was waiting in the car. So, he asked, what did the doctor say? I replied, he said I'm fine. Michael's jaw tightened. That's good, he said. Very good. But his voice sounded disappointed. That night, I could not sleep. The doctor's words echoed in my mind. Your family is lying to you. I watched the hallway from my bedroom door. At around midnight, I heard voices. Michael, Karen. I moved closer. She's healthier than we thought, Karen said angrily. That doctor ruined everything. We'll find another one, Michael replied. She forgets things sometimes. We can make it look worse. My legs trembled. We need the house, Karen continued, and her savings. Sophie's future depends on it. She won't fight back, Michael said coldly. She trusts us. Tears ran down my face. The son I raised, the family I loved, they were planning to erase me. At dawn, I packed a small bag, documents, medication, jewelry Robert gave me. I left a note on the kitchen table. Gone for a walk. I went straight to the bank. What Michael didn't know was this. Robert had left me a private investment account years ago. I had never told anyone, not even my son. I withdrew enough money to disappear. Then I checked into a quiet hotel across town. For the first time in years, I locked a door behind me and felt safe. That evening, Michael called me 14 times. Karen sent messages. Mom, where are you? You're scaring us. Come home. I did not reply. Instead, I called a lawyer. His name was Daniel Brooks, and he specialized in elder protection. When I played him the recording I secretly made of Michael and Karen talking that night, he leaned back in his chair. Mrs. Harper, he said, this is elder abuse. What do? I asked. He smiled calmly. We protect you, and then we expose them. That first night alone in the hotel was the hardest night of my life. The room was quiet, too quiet. No footsteps, no whispered voices, no feeling of being watched. I sat on the edge of the bed holding Robert's old watch in my hands. The same watch he wore every day for 30 years. The same watch I gave him on our 10th anniversary. How did I fail so badly? I whispered to myself. I was not crying because I lost money. I was crying because I lost my son. For years, I blamed myself for everything. If Michael was angry, I thought I talked too much. If Karen ignored me, I thought I was a burden. If Sophie avoided me, I thought children just grow distant. Now I knew the truth. They were not tired of me. They were waiting for me to disappear. The next morning, I met Daniel Brooks in his office. He was kind, calm, and direct. Mrs. Harper, he said, people think elder abuse is only physical, but financial and emotional abuse is more common and more dangerous. He showed me documents his investigator had already pulled. Karen had opened 2 credit cards in my name. Michael had tried to access my bank account twice. They had contacted 3 doctors asking about dementia evaluations. They were building a case against you, he said softly. All this time, I whispered, I was cooking their meals. Daniel looked at me with sympathy. You trusted them. That does not make you weak. It makes you human. That afternoon, I decided to answer Michael's calls. "Mom," he said immediately. "Thank God. Where are you?" "I'm safe," I replied. "Come home," he insisted. "Karen is worried sick." Worried. The word tasted bitter. "Michael," I said slowly, "why did you ask the doctor if I was mentally unfit?" Silence. "That's ridiculous," he said. "You're confused." "I heard you," I replied. "I heard everything." His breathing changed. "Mom, you're misunderstanding. You planned to take my house," I said. "You planned to put me away. Mom, you're not thinking clearly." That was the moment something inside me hardened. "You know what hurts the most?" I asked quietly. "Not the money, not the betrayal. It's that you were ready to erase me." He did not answer. That night, Sophie messaged me. "Grandma, please don't hate me." I stared at the screen for a long time. Finally, I replied, "Why did you stay silent?" Minutes passed, then she answered, "Because I was scared. They said you would be happier somewhere else." My heart cracked. Sophie was only 16. She was not cruel. She was weak, just like I once was. Daniel had an idea. "People like your son rely on secrecy," he said. "When the truth is public, power shifts." So I did something I never imagined. I went live. I sat in my hotel room, hands shaking, heart pounding. "My name is Evelyn Harper," I said into the camera. "I am 72 years old, and my family tried to erase me." Viewers started joining. I told them everything: the doctor's warning, the whispers at night, the betrayal. I cried on camera, not loudly, not dramatically. I cried the way tired people cry. The comments flooded in. "You are brave. My grandmother went through this. Protect yourself." For the first time, I did not feel alone. The next morning, the police called. Karen had tried to sell my jewelry. The buyer reported her. Michael tried to file for guardianship. The judge rejected it. The lies were collapsing. That evening, Sophie called me crying. "They're blaming each other," she sobbed. "They say it's my fault." I closed my eyes. "Come stay with me," I said. And when she arrived, holding a small bag, eyes swollen, I hugged her, not as a victim, but as a survivor. The courtroom was colder than I expected, not because of the air conditioning, but because of the people sitting across from me. Michael sat beside Karen. My son would not look at me. For a moment, I remembered the day he learned to ride a bike. He had fallen and cried. I had held him and promised I would never let him get hurt. Now he was the one trying to hurt me. The judge listened carefully. Daniel presented everything: the bank records, the doctor's statement, the audio recording of Michael and Karen planning my future without me. When the recording played, Karen covered her face. Michael stared at the table. The judge turned toward me. "Mrs. Harper," she asked kindly, "do you understand what was happening?" "Yes," I replied. "My family was trying to take my life away from me while I was still living it." My voice shook, but I did not break. The judge allowed Michael to speak. He stood slowly. "I was under pressure," he said. "College is expensive. Life is expensive." I looked at him. "So was raising you," I said quietly. The room went silent. I never wanted to hurt you, he said. I just thought you wouldn't notice. That hurt more than any insult. The judge's voice was firm. Attempted financial exploitation of an elder, she said. Fraud, abuse of trust. Karen's accounts were frozen. Michael was ordered to repay what he took. A restraining order was placed. They could not contact me again. When the gavel hit, I felt something lift from my chest. Not happiness, relief. Outside, Michael stopped me. Mom, he said, voice breaking, I'm sorry. I looked at him. I forgive you, but I don't trust you. Forgiveness was for my peace. Distance was for my safety. I bought a small home near the ocean. Nothing fancy, just quiet mornings and open windows. Sophie lived with me while finishing school. She laughed again. So did I. I started volunteering at a community center for seniors. I told my story, not to shame my family, but to warn others. I learned something important at 72. Love should never require silence. Trust should never require blindness. And age does not mean weakness. If a doctor ever warns you, listen, because sometimes the most dangerous lies are told by the people who say they love you. If someone ever tells you to stay silent for love, that is not love.